Hello, my name is Michael Katell, and I'm an ethics fellow at the Public Policy Program of the Alan Turing Institute. I'm here to present our paper, Confronting Power and Corporate Capture at the FAccT Conference, on behalf of my co-authors, Meg Young and Krafft. The main purpose of our paper is to reflect on the FAccT Conference as a space, who takes up space in our research community and who is relegated to the sidelines or neglected in this space. Like others before us, we find that the conversation on AI ethics is dominated by industry voices. We draw lessons from fields like public health and medicine in exploring the relationship between industry funding and the scope of inquiry in an academic field. Namely, corporate capture of academic research creates silences in the research record. We then draw out the consequences of FAccT being used in this way, how it certifies companies' commitments the company's commitments to ethics by accepting and ratifying their work, and how it is missing an essential part of the conversation by neglecting activist and advocate perspectives on algorithmic harm. We aim to show how acceptance of conflicted research, like this paper by Wilson et al. Into the 2021 FAccT conference, has larger social and political consequences that require changes to the conference's institutional design. We trace this problem to the way that the conference spotlights corporate work instead of listening to accounts of harm where they occur. Second, given this need to change the conference's institutional design, we call on the FAccT community to, 1, lead on changes to funding, data collection, and disclosure; 2, to prioritize activist and advocate perspectives on algorithmic harm; and 3, to redesign the conference format.
Good afternoon, so allow me first to apologize for this interruption. I do, like many of you, appreciate the comforts of a conference routine, the security of the familiar, the tranquility of repetition. I enjoy them as much as any bloke, but in the spirit of commemoration, thereby those events of the past usually associated with someone's tenure or the end of some awful office struggle, a celebration of a nice holiday. I thought we could mark this June the 21st, a day that is sadly no longer remembered, by taking some time out of our conference to sit down and have a little chat. There are, of course, those who do not want us to speak. I suspect even now, orders are being shouted into telephones, and men with guns may soon be on their way. Why? Because while the truncheon may be used in lieu of conversation, words will always retain their power. Words offer the means to meaning, and for those who will listen, the enunciation of truth. And the truth is, there is something terribly wrong with this conference, isn't there? Cruelty and injustice, intolerance and oppression. And where once you had the freedom to object, to think and speak as you saw fit, you now have sponsors and systems of funding coercing your conformity and soliciting your submissions. How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those who are more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But again, truth be told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only to look into a mirror. I know why you did it. I know you were afraid. Who wouldn't be? Your careers, success, access, fame. There were a myriad of problems that conspired to corrupt your reason and rob you of your common sense. Fear got the best of you, and in your panic, you turned to industry funding from Google, Meta, Facebook, and Microsoft. They promised you order, they promised you peace, and all they demanded in return was your benign, obedient consent. Last night, we sought to end that silence. Today, we destroy big tech to remind this conference of what it has forgotten. More than 400 years ago, a great citizen wished to embed the 21st of June forever in our memory. His hope was to remind the world that fairness, justice, and freedom are more than words. They are perspectives. So if you've seen nothing, if the crimes of big tech remain unknown to you, then I would suggest you allow the 21st of June to pass unmarked. But if you see what I see, and if you feel as I feel, and if you would seek as I seek, then I ask you to stand beside me 1 year from tonight outside the gates of ACM FAccT 2023, and together we shall give them a 21st of June that shall never, ever be forgot.